Welcome to the acknowledgement portion of the Self-Taught Notary Guide. By the end of this course, you will have learned how to fill out the most quote-unquote complex verbiage acknowledgement styles. I am only going to go over the two most common certificates within the loan signing industry. Take a moment and pause the video if you'd like to look over the next 3 slides. This is going to explain what an acknowledgement is as well as what a jurat is. When you see the abbreviations GNW, this is an abbreviation for General Notary Work. What that means is a person like myself can contact a Notary Public to have them notarize any form of document that I have. Sometimes it could be a will or insurance documents, but this is anything other than a loan signing. Before you begin to sign any acknowledgements to notarize any document, you want to first make sure that the person in front of you is the same person whose names is on the document. You would do that by double checking their identification. They have to also be present in order for you to notarize their signature. With every document that you notarize, it is good practice to make sure you record that notarization within your notary journal. You can check your state laws. Not all states require you to have a notary journal, but I personally feel as though it is best practice. That way you can have proof of notarization if anyone tried to make any claims against you in the future. When notarizing a document, you are going to start by first filling out the venue information. That is the state and county in which the notarization is taking place. Throughout each example, I am going to give you keywords that you can look for to understand what information is required to fill in the blank spaces. You don't need to feel overwhelmed with trying to understand the verbiage. You just have to know what information goes where. Whenever you see the words "before me," understand that the verbiage is referring to you, the notary public, the person that is going to be acknowledging the signatures. This particular verbiage is requesting that you insert the date on which you are acknowledging the signatures. The key phrase here is "before me on." The next key word here is "by." Whenever you see the word "by," the certificate is asking you to insert the names of the signers that are going to be signing the document. Each notary certificate is going to require you to announce who you are as the notary public. You will do this by signing your name on the specified lines. This particular certificate is asking you to insert your title. Your title is always going to be Notary Public. Understand that every time there is notarial verbiage, that the certificate is going to require you to stamp. Your stamp should include your name, your state that you are commissioned in, your commission number, and the commission expiration date. Understand the word seal means sign and not stamp. Not all certificates will include the word seal, but understand that whether it is there or not, you are still required to sign and stamp the document. Whenever there is notarial verbiage, it requires your stamp. Throughout the remaining presentation, I'm going to fill in the blanks using the actual information being requested within the certificate. So let's recap. First, we're going to enter the state of, the county of, before me on, which is the date, and by, the signers. After that, you will sign your name and insert your title, and then lastly, stamp the document. In this example, we're going to be focusing on the signature lines for the Notary Public. As you can see here, there are lines with no specific wording. So that is what we are going to focus on today, as well as inputting the remaining information. Whenever there is a blank line immediately following the verbiage, Understand that it is just asking you to sign your name. Normally, underneath the line, it will have Notary Public or sign and print or seal. When you see Notary Public in and for, it is asking you for your state. Now let's go ahead and fill in the required information. First, we are going to sign our name. Then we are going to enter Notary Public in and for our state. Immediately following that, there is a blank line. What you're going to do is print your name. And then lastly, enter your commission expiration date. For this example, we are going to focus on filling in the verbiage. The keywords to focus on here are on this day of 20, within my jurisdiction, the within named. The first three blanks are pretty self-explanatory. This is just asking you for the day, the month, and the year. The next line is asking that you put the names of the signers who are signing the actual document. In this scenario, our within named is Jane Doe. This section here lists the pronouns based on who is signing the document. Now, this may be where a little bit of the unorthodox notary signing agent comes in at. You are officially supposed to cross out the pronoun that does not apply and circle the one that does. Most agents do not do this. This does not mean that one agent is correct over the other. It's simply based on preference. If you would like to make the changes, you can. If not, you can leave it as is and no one will say anything. As you can see, this certificate has a little bit of everything, some of which we've already covered. Our keywords here are personally appeared and acknowledged that. Personally appeared is just another way of saying within named or by. Based on that, do you know what goes in the line after personally appeared? I will give you a few seconds to figure it out. Okay, if you said the signer's name, you are absolutely correct. Now, let's focus on our last blank space. Here, the acknowledgement is asking you to fill in the pronoun information. We've covered this in the last slide, so what I want you to do is, based on the information that we have here, go to the last slide and see which pronoun we would insert here. Perfect. If your answer is they, then you are absolutely correct. This is saying that and acknowledged that they executed the same for the purpose thereon contained. Now we are going to be focusing on the keywords oath of and or through. When you see the words oath of, it is always referring to a credible witness, someone that is present during the signing and can confirm that the person whose name is on this document is actually signing. Most of the time you see this particular verbiage, you may be in a state that does not require a witness. No need to worry. All you have to do is skip over that section and move forward to the next blank. If there is a witness, you would simply put their first and last name and you will not have to fill out the next blank. Most of the time, you are just going to be focusing on the or through portion of this acknowledgement. This is asking you to fill in the information about how you proved the signer to be who they say they are. Most of the time, when you are checking identification, you will most likely be provided with a driver's license. So, in this case, that is what you would put there. You would put or through driver's license. In this example, we have covered majority of the information here. The only thing that is different is that there aren't any lines where you need to fill in information. You will see this often. What I'm going to do is just tell you exactly where you would put in the state. As you can see, it says Notary Public in and for the state of. You would go ahead and insert the state after the state of. If the state of was not there and it was just Notary Public in and for, that is where you would put the state. In this example, we are going to be focusing on AD. All this is asking is that you fill in the current year that the document is being notarized. Depending on your state, you won't see this verbiage that often, but if you happen to come across it, you know exactly what it is asking you. I know you are probably looking at this like, what is going on? But don't worry, this is everything that we've already covered. The only thing is that there are no lines indicating where you should sign. Now, there is one section that we have not covered. I'm going to give you a moment to see if you can guess what actually goes in this area. If you go back and read any of the previous verbiage, you will find the answer. Okay, so if you've guessed is or are, then you are correct. When I am filling out my certificates, I normally use are. You can use is or are, whichever you prefer. All right, so now you can pat yourself on the back because we are finished with the acknowledgement portion of this training video. What we're going to go over now, I just want to show you how to correct a pre-filled change if the information is already filled in and it is wrong. This is common with the venue or signers' names or dates. You could use this for any of those scenarios. Okay, so this is your pre-filled information, the information that was typed into the document prior to you receiving it. Okay, let's create a scenario here. You live in Frederick, Maryland, and you received a loan packet that is from the state of New Jersey. The reason being is the borrowers are purchasing a home in New Jersey. So, in this case, some of the pre-filled information is going to say New Jersey instead of Frederick, Maryland. So what you will do is strike a line through the pre-filled information. Once you strike through, go ahead and make the changes. After the changes are made, you're going to initial those changes. This is going to let the lender know that there was an error and you properly executed the change. You can only correct a pre-filled change that has to do with anything that you personally have to sign. If there is anything wrong with the signer's name, maybe it's spelled incorrectly on one of the documents, maybe the date is wrong where they need to sign, they would have to go ahead and initial those changes and make the changes on their own.